A voice of one is calling out, "Clear the way for the Lord in the wilderness. Remove the obstacles. Make straight and smooth in the desert a highway for our God." Isaiah chapter 40, verse 3. My jaw almost dropped to the floor when I noticed a teenager called Sarah walk into our church for the first time. I honestly thought she had come to the wrong building by mistake. Whereas many school students I knew wouldn't have known what the label atheist meant, Sarah would define herself as one. While outwardly I perceived her as almost militant in her anti-religious views, I didn't know she had inwardly been on her own secret journey with Jesus and had decided it was time to check out church for herself. I first met Sarah through my work in a local school, where we educated students about the basics of Christian belief without ever crossing the line into proselytizing. Education is about giving people the tools to explore subjects for themselves. When we came to Christianity in religious education lessons, I realized that a lot of the young people like Sarah simply didn't have any prior awareness of the topic at hand. They had not grown up in a family where faith was discussed, and 9 out of 10 had never been to a church meeting in their life. Their knowledge was at a level you could visualize as like fresh snow without footprints. I recently reminisced with Sarah about her transformation since leaving school. She had become a Christian and joined our local church community, even after she had initially so publicly rejected Christ. "How long have we known you now, Sarah?" I said after we finished a small group Bible study my wife was leading. "I first met you when I was 12, she responded with a grin on her face. "That seems like only yesterday to me." "And remind me how old you are now?" I asked, pretending I already knew the answer. "I'm 28, said the 12-year-old. 16 years had passed in the blink of an eye, and like so many, Sarah's journey to Jesus had started far beyond the walls of the local church, taking many twists and turns along the way. I am always fascinated by the markers that define a person's spiritual walk before they decide to follow Jesus. It's often the little things that made the difference. For Sarah, it was the opportunity to explore God in a safe space, the chance to have conversations and make connections, and that she could argue with people like me and know I wouldn't give up on her. Even after she crossed the threshold of a church, she still had a journey before her. We often miss this process in our keenness to tick the attendance box, as if sitting in a pew is the same as fulfilling a purpose. Over the years, I have had the wonderful privilege of helping many people make their first moves toward freedom, destiny, and belonging with Jesus. Some people start their journey after a significant conversation with a Christian, whether a mentor, relative, or friend. Others stumble onto something while scrolling on the internet that helps them find good news amid fake news. Sometimes a moment of crisis brings a wake-up call or an answered prayer comes in the middle of a storm. Every person has to come to that point of responding yes or no to the invitation from Jesus to follow him. Even if you've been raised in a home full of Christians, you still have to make a choice to follow Christ for yourself. Everyone has to take little steps toward Jesus before they can take big steps with him. The Chronicles of Lewis. In the movie The Most Reluctant Convert, based on the play of the same name, we see an in-depth example of one man's personal pathway to finding faith. Thinking about the story of Clive Staples Lewis, I'm always struck by how long the lead time to conversion was for him. During a kneeling prayer in 1929, when he finally succumbed to the idea that there even was a God,